Hello there, welcome to Tech Trends with me, Olayemi Oshidende. And this week, we're coming to you all the way from the beautiful Nordic nation of Finland. And there's so much happening here when it comes to digital innovation, social welfare, and even data governance. So if you want to know more about how tech can truly work for people, stick around because Finland has got some answers. Artificial intelligence is one of 50 things that Watson does. There is also machine learning, text-to-speech, speech-to-text, and different analytical engines. They're like little Lego bricks. You can put intelligence in any product or any process you have. In the heart of Northern Europe, Finland is quietly leading a digital revolution, one that places people, not just technology, at the center of progress. From seamless social security systems to digital identities and a future-focused innovation ecosystem, the country is showing the world what a truly connected society looks like. At the core of everyday life here is Kela, the social insurance institution of Finland. Kela ensures that everyone, from young families to retirees, even Finns living abroad, receives the support they need through life's many stages. The institution has embraced digitalization to make social welfare as simple as a few clicks.
We think that we do have a central responsibility to provide the basic support in different situations of life. And we offer it to everyone who is covered by the Finnish social security system. So that, of course, includes people living in Finland, but in certain situations, and also people who live abroad, if they are entitled to the social security on some other basis. These days, we talk quite a lot about the digital wallet and digital credentials. It is the digital wallet that would be a tool for this, what we call the self-managed identity model. And I guess you are all familiar, or some of you are familiar with the wallets in our mobile phones, but we could have this same also supported with a European regulation for public sector actors like us, so that you could have in your mobile phone, for example, a credential verifying that you are a student in a university, and you would have a verified, trustworthy credential on your phone that you could either present to us here in Kela in the office or through the online services to add as an attachment to your benefit application, for example. We like to think we've learned some lessons on the way. I mentioned this client-centered orientation, which goes together with this life event orientation. We see that AI will be the key element helping us there. We also noticed that our beneficiaries are already using the AI tools that are out there already when they look for their options for the benefits or they fill in their applications. So they do it already.
They do have a wide collection of data, which is considered a treasure, but it also comes with responsibilities.
Our society is quite thoroughly digitalized, and people expect that they can get their administrative things done online and don't expect to be forced to go to offices or even maybe make phone calls. I think it has mostly affected the expectations, and also we've learned to think of the processes digital first. Back in the old days, we would have a manual process and then we would try to digitalize that. But I think we're past that. We have to think of the processes as digital and then also think of the way how to do it manually if we need to. We take it very seriously, the data security and cybersecurity, and we consider that amount of data as really a treasure. So we have certain defined security guidelines which handle the security culture here in Finland. We want everybody who works here in Kela to be aware of certain basic elements of cybersecurity. But then we also use the risk management procedures to always encounter the cyber security matters in all kinds of development actions and everything we do.
But digital life in Finland goes far beyond healthcare and welfare. The Digital and Population Data Services Agency is working to ensure that society functions smoothly, digitally, and securely. Finland's success in digital governance didn't happen overnight. From building trust to ensuring privacy, the agency shares key strategies that have made citizen-centric digital services not just possible, but practical for everyone.
It's quite a simple concept. So different agencies have like the basis for getting the information, and the basis is written in the law. So, for example, the tax administration get information related to their businesses. So no agency can get all the access and all the information because they would be interested, so they have need to know basis. I suppose that the digital maturity here in Finland has been so high all the time that the people have good digital literature capabilities, so they can see that what's like a fake message from a government and what's not. And of course, secondly, we communicate quite often that if there is like a possibility for a data breach. So the digital inclusion is a very important topic, at least here in the Nordics, and we typically try to think that all the services are available through all the channels that can be accessed for different people. So we are definitely taking care that people can access the office or then through call center the same services through the digital through the digital channels.
As Finland continues to innovate, emerging technologies like AI and blockchain are shaping the future of digital identity and population data management. From securing data against breaches to sharing lessons for other countries, Finland's journey offers insights on how to build a strong, secure, and inclusive digital public infrastructure.
Technology is important, but I think in a Finnish society, trust is more important. If thinking of the emerging technologies, in population register, we are very careful taking new technologies, meaning that the core population data is so important to us that even though that we are heavily using cloud services in some of the customer services, we are actually not using the new technologies in the population data. If we go for the normal, not sensitive services, then the cloud services are widely used. We are evaluating AI services, but again for the same reason, to carefully assess, and it's more important is the, I would say, security both felt by the citizens and actual security. We are studying and maybe later carefully testing and taking into use. I think the good pairing of this trust, legislation, and technology, understanding that data is valuable to create good services, to create efficiency, but you have to always think of the privacy of the persons and the risks that are related. I think that kind of approach when developing the systems, some quick wins you can feel that you want certain quick wins, but especially when there's a personal data, think carefully but still go forward.
And then there's Sitra, the Finnish Innovation Fund. But this isn't your typical think tank. It's a do tank, actively shaping the future. From promoting sustainable lifestyles with digital products to encouraging futures thinking for journalists, Sitra is reimagining the world ahead and helping others to do the same.
Originates from
Sitra is also pushing to democratize the benefits of data because a better future isn't just about innovation, it's about access and equity.
We are encouraging Finnish society
for better well-being and better innovations. So we are making strong foresight work to recognize those challenges. And then we are making different and several experiments and pilots in the Finnish society. And based on these experiments and pilots, we then try to scale them up to the Finnish society to reach better well-being for everyone and for Finnish organizations.
We make absolutely sure that we have a very big variety of voices. We have been able to identify trends that affect the current world. So that's what we're doing. We don't have a crystal ball, unfortunately. We would love to have that, but we have tools where we identify tiny little movements in the world or the bigger megatrends. But this is all due to huge amounts of work. So that's what we do every single day.
In Finland, technology isn't just about gadgets or apps. It's about people. It's about using innovation to build trust, simplify life, and shape a future that works for everyone.
To the basics. Did you know Facebook was originally a directory of freshmen with their names and pictures? Mark Zuckerberg came up with the idea for Facebook while he was a student at Harvard University. As a student, he thought of a way of bringing the existing social experience of college onto the internet. The Facebook, as it was known at the time, was a platform to allow Harvard students use their .edu email addresses and photos to connect with one another. The inspiration for it came from an editorial in the Harvard Crimson on Zuckerberg's first website called Face Smash. The site allowed users rate the attractiveness of their fellow students based on their profile pictures. This early project was what evolved into the Facebook, which was launched in 2004 by Mark Zuckerberg and his Harvard colleagues. The company dropped "the" from its name after purchasing the domain name facebook.com in 2005, and it became known simply as Facebook. The platform was made available for high school students, and in 2006, it became accessible to the general public. Facebook quickly became the leading social networking website in the world. Facebook, a book of faces.
It's a new dawn for Nigeria's AI journey, one driven by collective action, innovation, and the power of artificial intelligence.
The emerging local AI success stories.
At the heart of this movement is the official launch of the Nigeria Artificial Intelligence Industry Collective, an initiative established by the Ministry of Communications, Innovation, and Digital Economy. Gathered in the room are some of the nation's leading voices in AI, all united by a shared goal, which is to accelerate Nigeria's prosperity through an inclusive and future-ready AI ecosystem.
Our vision is clear: build a nationally rooted, contextually relevant, inclusive, and coordinated ecosystem for Nigeria that reflects on the ethical governance and inclusion needs of us as a country. A year later, we are here to celebrate not just progress, but also have that opportunity to see what momentum is, where things are changing, and look at the potential of the collective to set a new direction for the country, also with the implementation of the Nigerian AI Collective. As the AI Collective, we're particularly excited today that this event is bringing together actors who are going to begin to work in synergy to ensure that AI in Nigeria is not just advanced, but aligned with our national priorities and solving real contextual problems within the country. So from government to academia to tech innovators to civil society, this room has the diversity we need to begin to bring together thought leadership to ensure that we're not just using AI ethically, but we're using it to advance and solve real problems.
But what is the agenda of the Nigeria AI Industry Collective?
What are the pillars that we want to achieve? Because it's not just that we come together. What is the essential objective? The National AI Collective is built on 5 pillars. The first is knowledge and collaboration. How do we share knowledge among ourselves? How do we build capacity? How do we ensure that there's innovation and research? How do we drive policy advocacy? And last but not the least, how do we collaborate with centers of excellence across the world and pick those learnings and domicile them, adapt them, and make them work for us? So I will just quickly tell you what we are going to be doing as far as industry is concerned. We have 3 partners who are working on this, but for our organization, our mandate is to engage the industry team. And in breaking the 5 pillars down, I'm going to be talking about what we're going to be doing on those 5 pillars. The first is on knowledge. We want to drive mass literacy. We want everyone everywhere to have a broad understanding of how AI can lead to productivity. How can I deploy AI as a business, small and medium entrepreneurs? How do we mobilize the industry to support the academia? How do we get the MTNs of this world, the InterSwitch of this world, who are sitting on tons of data, to give the data to Dr. Dumiwa? Interestingly, Dr. Dumiwa, behind you is the data champion for InterSwitch, so start striking deals. That's why we're here. And behind is Meta, so that's why we're here. So that we're able to create that collective. Because a lot of things that is needed in the academia and in the industry, how do we ensure that we're able to forge that seamless interlock of knowledge transfer and platform transfer as well?
The Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy lays emphasis on the power of the collective, and that's to enable people create, innovate and solve real problems using AI.
Beyond these things that we see that may appear as the blocker is the asset that we have, which is our people. Nigerians will create. Nigerians are already building AI. But if we don't come together and build together, what's going to happen is that a lot of these solutions will end up not being recognized for our country. We don't understand the power of recognition. When things are not recognized for nations, resources will not come towards those nations. To put that in context, today Nigeria is rated almost second to the last in ECI Trade Index for technology, which means how well do you export technological solutions. We're rated second to the last. Do you guys believe that's possible? Yeah? It's no. Because, of course, we celebrate Floto with Paystack and Della, all these companies. But, the reality is they're not Nigerian companies. So the development we seek, if we don't come together and understand how our individual actions work against the development of our nation or in favor of our nation, the nation will struggle. The nation will struggle. So as a minister, I took 2 things upon myself. Right? I've done this repeatedly. You see this AI Collective, I personally wrote the proposal to Luminate to fund it. Personally, with my team. And we wrote it magnanimously, saying government will not manage it. Because it's a community of practice. It should be managed by the community, by the industry. And we got the funding. Again, the first time it was being done by Luminate as well. And we got the funding, and it was passed on to people who actually can do this thing on a daily basis. And that's what we've done. And for those who are worrying about compute, we are now working, actively to actually fix that problem as well. How many of you know that we have the largest privately managed power plant in sub-Saharan Africa? It's not something you probably associate with Nigeria, but we do, in Egmi, which is just like 30 minutes boat ride from where we are today. And the goal is to work on declaring or gazetting Egmi as the national data park for Nigeria, which means it becomes a free trade zone area, which means the government can actively work on supplying tentatively interim form of energy, gas to Egmi, so Egmi can generate more electricity that we can then use to power the national compute for the country. A national compute for Nigeria will cost anywhere between 200 to 400 million. We don't think that's too big for a country our size. Because if any country in Africa will actually drive AI, it is Nigeria. You also need to bear in mind that this is a country with about 8 subsea cables, right? Without proper connectivity, you can't power AI. Nigeria already has 8 subsea cables. Probably the only country, or maybe, the only country in West Africa. Ghana, I think they have about 7 or thereabout. Which means Nigeria is also the connectivity hub for the West African region. There's a lot of data that is already terminating in Nigeria, but also going from Nigeria out. The hyperscalers are still messing around. They don't want to come set up, but they are coming. we know they are coming. We know they are coming. But the goal is that if we can make Nigeria the connectivity hub for West Africa, the data set we're talking about for training AI is not just limited to the 230 million people that we have in the country, but close to 500 million people that we have in West Africa can also benefit from that.
First launched in October 2024, the AI Collective represents a platform bringing together government, academia, industry leaders, and civil society working hand in hand to harness artificial intelligence for real-world impact. And that vision is already taking shape with emerging homegrown success stories like Yuan GPT, MDoc, LangEasy, among others, leading the charge. Another major aspect of the launch is the unveiling of the National Artificial Intelligence Strategy and what it means to the Nigerian industry sector.
Our strategy is simple, but it is bold and it is audacious. And it's bold and audacious because we are Nigerians. We don't do simple things, right? So we want to do the big things, want to solve big problems. And we believe that through everybody here, we can do it. So it's 5 pillars. It's 12 goals and 34 initiatives. And in implementation, we're all going to come back and do it together. But bottom line is 3 key issues: infrastructure, ecosystem, AI business transformation, and then we encapsulate it with responsible and ethical. And then the icing on the cake is governance. And I think by doing all these things, we can actually achieve our goals.
The Nigerian AI story is no longer just about potential, it's about progress. And as this collective gains momentum, it is clear that Nigeria is not just embracing artificial intelligence, it's defining what it looks like on the continent.
Local AI success stories.
And that's a wrap on the show this week. Thank you for watching. It is clear that tech in Finland isn't just about gadgets. It's about making life better for everyone. And it's been truly inspiring to see how much thought goes into building systems that truly serve the people. For Tech Trends, I'm Olayemi Oshidende. I'll see you next time.